Josh, break down day one. Let's work 3, 2, 1. Girls. If you do you do the girls one?
No, I paid no attention.
Got it. Okay, so let's go 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Division 3, St. Peter's Graham had 12 wrestlers qualified for the tournament. They won 11 frontside matches. The Meniere at 190 lost to returning safe place from Monroeville. He did win coming back, so Graham is 11 in the quarters and 1 coming back. Realistically, it's a battle for second between Delta and Waynedale. Both teams did not do as well as expected last week. Delta had a great day one. They have all seven wrestlers won today. At 132, they had a pin from behind to win. 190 hung on to win at the end of the match. The 165 won in the ultimate tiebreaker. Waynedale had 8 wrestlers. They had 6 in the quarters and 1 coming back. Stephen Patterson at 126 was a hard luck draw situation. He lost narrowly in the opening round, and then he lost to Bodie Miller coming back. Bodie Miller had Dom Kemble first round, so that was a tough area to draw. Patterson lost narrowly to the freshman Schlegel from Elgin, and then the other wrestler who lost for them on the day was Caden Schmelzer, 2-time returning state placer. He lost in an absolute bone bruner of a match to Ben James Schmelzer won against Ben James in a bone bruner at 138. The 150 lost in a 4-over-1, but he won coming back. So Waynedale's at 6-1, Delta's 7-0, Graham's 11-1. Division 2, Bishop Watterson was your favorite coming into the day. They had started the day with 6 wrestlers. As expected, they ended the day with 5 wrestlers, all in the quarters. The interesting thing about Bishop Watterson for the season was they had 2 of their projected better wrestlers returned home to their public school districts for their junior and senior year respectively, Curry and Christie. Curry's in Division 2 at Licking Valley. Neil Christie at Worthington Kilbourne in Division 1 got injured before his postseason. So Bishop Watterson has the 5 remaining in the quarters. Also with 5 in the quarters is Beaver Local and Sandusky Perkins. Those teams have 5 in the quarters. Beaver Local had 1 big match in day 1 on the front side. Robert Buheit at 138 won an overtime battle over Mason Ducat from Defiance. Both wrestlers in that match were 2-time returning state placers. Buheit now has a quarterfinal against returning state champion Aiden King. Perkins, as I said, had 5 in the quarters. Also of note, Wasion had the most wrestlers to start the tournament at 7. They have 4 in the front, 3 in the back. And another team of note is Kettering Alter. They started the day with 5 in the tournament. They have 4 in the tournament now, all in the quarters. The team that was unexpected for me in terms of the team race to start the day was Perkins, and I was looking at him like, oh, they're winning a bunch of matches, and I had to make sure to confirm they went 5-0 on day 1, which they did. So it's me a real tight battle, in my opinion, for second place in Division 2. One of the biggest quarterfinals tomorrow morning in Division 2 is a battle of very talented freshmen at 138. We have Tommy Rowlands from Bishop Watterson against Anthony Oscar from Clear Fork. That should be an absolute barn burner. Aiden King's on the other side of the draw, so that could possibly be the winner hits the final. However, you have Tyson Spicer from New Lexington up in that part of the bracket who beat Buheit last week, so it's no guarantee that the winner of that match hits the final, but that's a big match. And if Rowlands wins that quarter at 38, I don't want to say the tournament's over for the trophy, but it's over.
Okay.
And then Division 1.
D1.
St. Edward started the day with 13 wrestlers. Pre-tournament favorite. Guess how many wrestlers they have left? 13. Guess where they all are? On the front side. So they're very well positioned to have a big day 2. They had some favorable draw situations in terms of their paths. They have a couple losable quarterfinals. I would point to the quarterfinal match at 138 with Jacob Keel against his opponent from Maslin Perry. Cameron Platts, a rematch of state duels where Platts won as the one potential that they are probably an underdog in. Everything else, they're, I would say, toss up the favorite with their quarterfinals. At Massillon Perry, who qualified all 14 to state tournament, only the fourth time an Ohio team has qualified 14 to state since there's been 14 weight classes, which goes back all the way to 1995.
Who were the other three?
It was St. Edward all three times. They did it 2 years ago. They did it in 2007 with the national title team, and they did it in 2012 with the team that finished as national runners-up. The 2012 team placed 13 of those 14 wrestlers, which is the high water mark in this tournament for the number of total placers. 2012 team, you go back to that team, that's a Dean Heil, Edgar Bright, Colin Heffernan, that type of Marcus Scheidel, those types of wrestlers. I think if you remember that lineup, Zeb, I think they had close to 10 wrestlers from that lineup compete in Division I colleges.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and then, as we said, that's St. Ed's. Massillon Perry, we said they started the day with 14, ended the day with 14, but 13-1. Perry's
14-1.
13 up, 1 down. 14-1 record.
Yes.
Perrysburg started the day with 12. They ended the day with 10. All 10 up top. Had a very big win at 144 with Caden Soto getting a late in the match takedown to beat a two-time returning state medalist, Wyatt Brock from Harrison. That score was 5-2. Caden Soto is a returning state placer, so that is one of the bigger matches of the first day. Soto has Sanderford tomorrow morning in the quarters. Massillon Perry's one first day loss was Emmerich McBurney at 126. He faced Mason Bauer from Ashland in the opening round. And for the second straight year, Mason Bauer comes in fourth at district and knocks off a Massillon Perry district champion. Last year, that was Bauer at 106 over Lincoln Roar. So that's where the team dynamic stands. Brecksville has 6 up and 4 down. Moeller is 5 up and 4 down. Dublin Kaufman has 5 up and 1 down. Though those three teams are in a separate tier battling for fourth.
Can Perrysburg steal second place?
I honestly don't see it because Massillon Perry just has too much volume. It would take a few stumbles for Massillon Perry in the quarters to knock down some kids from not place for Perrysburg to snag second for what would be a fourth straight year.
What are your predictions for finalists as far as most finalists in 3 for as far as teams, 2, D2, and then D1?
I honestly don't have that off the top of my head, but I can tell you Graham's going to have the most finalists in Division 3.
Okay.
And then Division 2, I would think Bishop Watterson's got the most high-end punch. They're well positioned to get a finalist out of Boyle at 215 for sure. I feel pretty, actually, at 150. Lindsay, I think actually has Dixon on his side in the semis, so that's a situation where they might not get a finalist. We talked about Rollins already, and Younger at 144 is a clear favorite in his weight. And don't forget about the freshman Lindsay at 132. Actually, you know what? He's in the side with Heisey, so it's gonna be a tough task for him to get there, Tate Heisey, to get there. But Watterson has the most high-end talent. I think Kettering Alter certainly has a shot to get a couple in the finals with Owens, who's the favorite in the weight, and then Begley at 26. And in terms of Division 1, we kind of already discussed this, St. Edward has got the high-end kids. But don't be surprised if Massillon Perry has less finalists than Perrysburg, because Perrysburg's might have more top end talent than the Panthers for Massillon Perry, but the Yellow Jackets just don't have enough volume to catch up in terms of when you're working with 10 on day 2 versus 14.
Okay, I'm going to throw out some matchups. Give me your favorite. What are their semis or championships or quarters, whatever?
Quarters.
Boyle. Let's go Boyle versus Feaster.
That would be, I think there would be a final.
It's a final, yeah.
And I picked Boyle to win that weight class. If it gets to the third period tight, Boyle's got a motor beyond belief, and that could play a role in that match because Feaster hasn't wrestled a lot of matches this year. He also, Lord knows, he hasn't been extended in those matches.
Crushes everybody.
And
Got a gator roll and pin a guy in 28 seconds or 38 seconds.
I think
He's a specimen now.
Yeah.
He's going to play NFL football.
Yeah, he'll be playing. I think he'll be a P4 linebacker.
Yeah, and he'll play in the NFL. I'm just calling that. That's me.
Yeah.
Let's go with Soto Sanderford. What was that at
That's
Brecksville?
a quarter tomorrow morning.
It's a Brecksville rematch.
That's Sanderford Dinwiddie was the final at Brecksville.
Yeah, but I think it was a quarter or a semi.
It might have been. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel Sanderford's the favorite in that one. And Dinwiddie has an interesting match tomorrow morning in the quarters with Adam Butler. Do I think Dinwiddie can win that match? Probably not. Can he make it close? Maybe.
All right. Other anticipated finals, I got Suckach versus Thornville.
We got to get them there first.
Okay.
We got to get them there first. So, second.
Reedy, Suckach. Do you like that matchup?
Reedy won that last week 6-5. That could happen again. Reedy will have Hertenstein in a potential semi.
Whoa, are you serious?
Yeah, and then Suckach would have Gilmore in a potential semi.
Gilmore's a returning runner-up.
Yeah, Gilmore's runner-up last year to Brogan Tucker. Gilmore has a couple massive in-season wins this season for an Ohio Division II's ecosystem. He beat Hertenstein at Marion Harding to win that tournament, and he beat Ezguera from Dublin Kaufman at the Kilter Classic earlier in December. Even though Ezguera's down at 50 in D1 for the D2 ecosystem, that's a really notable win. And Reedy has a couple real notable in-season results. First of all, he eviscerated the field at Maumee Bay, and then at Brecksville, he had 2 big wins over U16 National Freestyle All-Americans, Donnie Beaufait from Dundee and Zach Aquila from Brecksville. So those 4 kids are certainly the real deal in D2 at 157.
Reedy's trending up, though.
Yeah, Reedy's made a leap from last year to this year. Reedy has not lost a match since his first-round match at state last year when he lost to Gage Murphy from Reading.
Then he battled back and took third.
He took third. He's undefeated this season. Gage Murphy, I think he ended up taking 5th at his weight. And then he's undefeated this season up at 165.
Okay, 113 D1 loaded, 120 D1 loaded, multiple nationally ranked kids at both weights. Who do you got coming out on top of the pile? 113.
113. That's going to start with quarters tomorrow. In the lower half, you have a state final rematch.
Quarterfinal.
Aiden Dodd, Brandon Bickerton. Bickerton won that match at Brecksville this year in Constellation Semi. Dodd won that match when it was in the final in Maumee Bay. The other lower bracket quarter is Lincoln Rohr from Maslin Perry, Tommy Worcester from Dublin Kaufman. Though Worcester was runner-up at Brecksville to Rohr placing 6th. Rohr did beat Worcester in consolation at the Ironman 7-5. In the upper part of the bracket, you get kind of relative free ride to the semis for Seacrest and Whiteley, though Whiteley did give up the first takedown in his match against Oliver Lester this afternoon. And Seacrest last week beat Bickerton and Rohr to force that situation, though the Bickerton-Seacrest match was one where Bickerton, one could argue, out-wrestled Seacrest but lost the match. So that's going to be the bottom half tomorrow morning is fireworks about.
Seacrest to clear up top.
You got Whiteley.
Never mind.
He ain't clear.
Never
Whiteley's
mind.
placed at all 3 majors this year for St. Ed's. He plays at Ironman, he plays at
forgot
Powerade,
about him.
he plays at ETR.
He's our number 2 in Ohio. Our number 1 being Landis.
Yeah,
Landis beat him for 7th and
Landis
8th.
beat him for 7th and 8th.
At Ironman.
Landis beat Bickerton twice at GIT. Landis lost to the other Bickerton bumping up this season.
Wow.
And I think Landis lost to Whiteley in the duel, though.
Did he?
Yeah, he has 4 losses. He had 2 at Ironman, and then the bigger Bickerton and Whiteley in the duels. And then at 120, the way it is, it's basically, when it boils down to it, it's probably a 3-person weight. You have Burnett on top, and you have Seibert and Timur on the bottom. Timur and Seibert would theoretically meet in the semifinal, presuming that Seibert beats Green in the quarter tomorrow morning, which he's beaten Green before, and Burnett's looking at a semi against Austin Bickerton, an opponent he's beaten a couple times before. Timur Seibert has happened twice happened once this season at state duels, and Timur won that ultimate tiebreaker right out.
That was at
State duels.
Ironman, but Ironman they wrestled.
Ironman, they hit.
Timur won.
Timur, no, you're right. Timur beat Seibert at Ironman, but Seibert did not wrestle. Timur is the highest place at Ironman. I think.
4th. He was
his
4th,
highest place.
7th, 8th, Burnett 7th.
So
Seibert 8th.
Timur beat Burnett, and Timur beat Seibert in overtime
Yes.
at Ironman, and Burnett lost Monoretto and someone else.
Yeah.
Regan.
Yeah,
Regan. Yeah, and then Monoretto coming back.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Go with the girls now. Okay, I got you. I'm gonna bail you out. You ready? Orange has 7 in the quarters. They went 7-0.
I think they started the tournament with 7.
Yeah, they went 7-0. Marysville went 4 pins, 1 tech, 5-0.
5-0. That's
So there you go.
the big battle, I guess, in division in the girls' side.
Why don't you pay attention to the girls?
The boys in the national, just too much to consume on the brain.
Okay. I can see some smoke coming out of those ears, dude.
Yeah.
Out of that Wahoo hat. Got to keep that Wahoo hat preserved. Okay. That's the lowdown.
Okay.
So basically what you just told me, you can give me the long and the short of it. Graham by a bunch in D3. Delta runner-up or Wayndale.
One or the other.
Okay. Depends who wrestles hard tomorrow. D2, Watterson.
Watterson should win. The only question for me is, does Watterson crack 100 points?
Okay, and then they have chasing them. It will be Perkins.
Pick a team.
Perkins,
Beaver Local,
Beaver Local. Yeah.
Alto. Pick a team. At this point, it's pick a team.
And that sounds like Ed's Perry.
Ed's Perry, third's Perrysburg.
Love it.
Okay.
Are you good? All right. Go get some coolant for the brain. Josh, thank you for the time. And we'll get another lowdown here this weekend,
Okay.
all right?
Mm-hmm.